Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at, listening to, and of course installing the Corsa Xtreme CatBack exhaust with polished rectangular tips, available for the 11 to 14 Challenger with the 5.7 Hemi. You should be checking this out if you're looking to ditch your factory CatBack to pick one up that's not only going to give you a better sound, a little bit more aggression, and a nicer styling at the rear, but also if you're looking to bump up some horsepower and torque figures. Now this one in particular, as you just heard from our sound clips, I'm actually going to give 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Typically you hear the words Corsa Xtreme CatBack and you think it's the loudest of the loud, but as a matter of fact, this one does have included resonators, which are going to mute some of those higher pitched tones, which bumps it, in my opinion, from 5 out of 5 to 4 out of 5. Now with that said, it still sounds really, really good. It has a really high quality sound to it. As a matter of fact, it's not very deep and throaty as much as it is a little bit louder and raspier, and that's going to be thanks to the X pipe. So you're getting rid of that factory H pipe, replacing it with something that's got a better airflow to it, which is also going to produce that raspier tone. The mufflers in this kit are chambered mufflers, which are going to contribute to the sound you just heard as well. And this entire kit produces little to no drone inside the cabin, which I think is one of the best qualities about it. Typically, when you get to the louder side of the spectrum in the category, you start to get really loud and obnoxious inside the cabin. Not going to be the case here, so that's a bonus. So if you want to have your kids in the back seat or your wife in the passenger seat or husband, this is definitely going to let you have a conversation and have it be a little bit more peaceful. Now, when you start getting on this thing, wide open throttle lets everybody know that it's absolutely aftermarket. It's got a loud rasp to it. A cold start in the morning might be a little bit louder than usual, so keep that in mind moving forward with this kit. Now, if you're looking for something that's the highest quality in the category, Corsa is known for that. They're one of the more premium brands. This one's got 304 stainless steel throughout, 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing. It's a little smaller than some of the other options out there, so it creates a little bit more back pressure, but either way, really, really high quality stuff here. Great for guys seeing a lot of road salt in the winter months. Now guys, the price tag for this is gonna be a little steep, coming in right around $1,550, which isn't unusual for a CatBack like this. The tips themselves that are included with that price tag are welded to the muffler, so you don't have to worry about aligning them yourself. They're not too far off from the factory ones, but they do have this split in the middle. They're 3x7, so they have that rectangular finish just like the factory, just have a small change to it. The polished finish, in my opinion, looks really good too. If you're looking for black tips, those are available in the category. This one's not going to be for you, but black tip guys looking for that, you can definitely check those out. For the install, 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle it with very simple hand tools in the driveway at home in about 2 hours from start to finish. No cutting, no welding, none of that nonsense. I'm going to take you through every step of the process, so let's get to it. Now the tools used in this install include an impact gun or a ratchet, an extension, 13mm deep socket, recommended to have a 13mm swivel socket, and a 15mm deep socket. It's also recommended to have white lithium or a PB Blaster or WD-40, something to grease up the bolts and the bearings. And it's also recommended to have a hanger removal tool, which you can pick up at your local auto parts store. Guys, the first step here for taking off your factory CatBack is to grab your impact gun or your ratchet and a 15mm deep socket. We're going to loosen up the 2 clamps here holding your factory headers or your factory manifolds to your mid pipe. Now you don't want to remove the bolt, just loosen them up. Next up, grab a hanger removal tool and pop the hanger out of the factory isolator next to your rear diff. All right, now we can do the same thing on the other side. Right above our rear mufflers, we have 2 hangers and isolators, one on each end. Now instead of popping the hanger out of the isolator, to make it easier on us, we're going to grab an extension and a 13mm socket, and we're going to remove the bolt holding that to the actual vehicle, to the frame. So grab an extension and your 13 and just pop these off. Now once you're getting to the second one, just make sure you have a hand on the muffler because it's going to start dropping. All right, now with the help of a friend, you can drop the whole CatBack in one piece. So we got our factory CatBack off of our 13RT. It's on the ground here next to our Corsa Xtreme, and I want to take you through some of the similarities, but mainly the really big differences between the two kits, and there are quite a few. Taking a look at your factory system, you'll notice that a lot of kinks, really small diameter. It's going to restrict airflow pretty much all the way through. Starting at your factory mid-pipe, it's more of an H-pipe, which does give you a deeper tone, but the factory exhaust really is muffled down by the mufflers and the resonators. Going over to your new X-pipe, going to give you a nice raspy, louder volume and tone, but it's also going to improve airflow. It's got that crossover section, which doesn't restrict the airflow like this crossover section here on your H-pipe. So the fact that the X-pipe actually crosses and the airflow can move smoothly, it's going to bump up your power. Moving along, you'll notice that there are resonators, which is shocking because it is one of the louder options in the category, but these resonators really focus on kind of keeping down that drone. It's minimizing the drone inside the cabin, while the mufflers focus on having that chambered feel so that it can produce the sound that you just heard from our sound clips. The entire system, start to finish, is made of a 304 stainless steel. It is the actual highest quality material on the market as far as the exhaust in the category. 304 is going to be a good option for the guys out there in wintry weather areas like we are here on the East Coast. We see a lot of road salt in a lot of months throughout the year, which means it can degrade that material from your factory exhaust. And 304 holds up a lot longer, and it's going to be a lot more resistant to corrosion and rust. In addition to all that, it's got mandrel bends, which does make it a lot more smooth along these bends, especially under that lower control arm area. That is going to improve airflow as well. The chambered mufflers here have a dual inlet and a single outlet there, which is going to help with airflow as well. Boosts up that sound like I already mentioned there. And finally, our tips are the last change. The tips here are a 5x7 GTX rectangular tip, which is a little bit different than the factory one. The factory one's more of a single slot. This is more of a dual slot. Gives you a slightly different look. Some guys really like it. If you're not really a fan, there are other options in the category, of course, even from Corsa. This one here has that polished finish, a mirror-like shine, which I think is a little bit shinier than the factory one. It's a little bit more thick on the walls too, so nice aggressive look at the rear end. And installing this is going to be pretty much the exact same, but in reverse order. Instead of going up all in one piece, we'll work on our X-pipe, hit the resonators, work our way back. So what we do have to do is transfer over these isolators. Remember, we removed these from the frame using that bolt, so you have to transfer them over with our hanger removal tool, so we'll start there. When you're popping these isolators off the hangers, it's a good idea to have some grease nearby. We're using white lithium. You can use PB Blaster, WD-40, whatever works. This just stays on a little longer, so I like using this. I'm gonna just grease up both sides, make sure it's nice and lubricated. Grab your hanger removal tool, just pop these off. Now when you're transferring these over, you want to make sure this little tab here on the hanger is facing the rear of the vehicle. Now for the install, we're going to start with our X-pipe. You want to put 2 clamps over the inlet side and install them onto your factory manifolds or your headers. You want to seat those all the way back, rotate your clamps up, and tighten them down with a 15mm socket. Now when you have the X-pipe installed, you want to make sure that the plates that are welded on, like this one here, are facing downward. It even says install this side down, so make sure you have that appropriately. Next up, take one of your resonators, doesn't matter which one, and you're going to install it over the end of the X-pipe. We're going to start here on our driver's side. Grab your 15 socket and tighten down that clamp. All right, we're gonna do the same thing to our other resonator. Next up, you want to grab the pipe that is shaped like an L. Now this is going to install into that resonator, but first, you want to make sure you're installing the hanger into your factory isolator. You want to make sure you have a clamp on that inlet too. When you insert it over the pipe, you're going to tighten this down. I like to get it nice and snug, but leave a little room for adjustment because we're getting toward our tailpipe tips. We want to make sure we have ability to align it properly. All right, now you can tighten down this clamp. Now for your driver's side muffler, you're going to put a clamp on the end and insert it onto the pipe. You want to make sure you're holding one of the 13mm bolts while you're doing this. You're going to insert that in and lift it up. Grab one of the 13mm bolts and you're going to have to connect that to the frame. This way you can thread it in a couple of holes and it'll hold the exhaust up while you reconnect everything else. Get it in there and give it a couple of threads. Tighten down your clamp. Now, I find it easier to use a swivel socket for this one, so I have a 13mm for that. And insert this in there, line it up to the hole. All right, now you can tighten down the other one. Perfect. Now repeat for the other side. Now we're doing the same thing for the other bolt, and then we can tighten down our clamp. All right, now you can go back to all your clamps and tighten them down, then you're good to go. Well guys, that's going to wrap up my review and install as well as sound clip for the Corsa Xtreme CatBack exhaust with the polished rectangular tips. If you're looking to get the highest quality materials on the market with a pretty loud catback that's a lot more aggressive with a small change in the tips, this is going to be a great option for you and it's not too overwhelming. If you want to pick this one up, you can do so right here at AmericanMuscle.com.